Hello, my name is Ginny Dye. Welcome to today's Burst of Hope. My gift to the world because everyone needs hope. You know, life was different back in the 1800s. Charles Tiffany was only 15 when he completed his formal education and went to work managing a general store for his father, who owned a Connecticut cotton mill. He didn't get long summer vacations or take off on a beach trip when he graduated. He went to work. He worked long, hard hours, but he learned new things every day. Over the next 10 years, he was given some additional education to help him run the business, as well as working in the office of the cotton mill, but by the time he was 25, he still had nothing to call his own, and very little money. When he took stock of everything, he knew it was time to change his life, time to create his own success. He was tired of making money for someone else. He had his own life to live. He thought about it long and hard, considered all his options, and then chose his friend John Young to be his business partner. "We're going to New York," he announced one day. "To do what?" John asked warily. "Well, we're going to open our very own stationery and notion store on Broadway." By now, John was looking at him like he'd lost his mind. "With what money, Charles?" "Well, I've talked my father into loaning us $1,000. Now John's sure he'd lost his mind. $1,000. That's all? How are we supposed to start a new business and have money to live on with just $1,000? Charles had the perfect answer to that question. "It's either that or be stuck here for the rest of our lives." Well, when he put it that way, the two young men went to New York. It was 1837. The first 3 days of business in their new store on Broadway were certainly not promising. Tiffany and Young raked in a dismal $4.38 in sales. It didn't matter. They had a store. With their sights set on success, the young men worked hard to provide products people wanted. Within 2 years, they were selling glassware, cutlery, porcelain, clocks, and jewelry. They had also learned a tremendous amount. They knew to search for every opportunity. They knew to take advantage of ways to expand their business. They knew each year would bring new challenges and opportunities. But Charles still had no idea what they would eventually become. He just kept moving forward. In 1841, they added a new partner because they needed someone to travel abroad to increase their purchasing power. 6 years later, they recognized a growing market for quality gold jewelry, and they began to manufacture their own. Just 1 year later, in 1847, Europe was rocked by disturbances. One of the results was diamonds declining 50% in value in Paris. Well, here was another opportunity. They took advantage of the situation to purchase large amounts of diamonds, gaining huge profits back in America. 4 years later, they began the manufacture of sterling silverware. All the while, they were moving into bigger and better storefronts. The Civil War became another opportunity for them. They supported the raging war by manufacturing swords and other articles the Union Army needed. In 1867, they moved into the famous store still on Broadway in New York City, Tiffany's. The young man who had left Connecticut to open a stationery store became the owner of a $2 million business, the equivalent of a multi-billion-dollar business now, that was acknowledged as the greatest jewelry company in North America. There are so many hope lessons to learn from Charles Tiffany. The one that stands out most to me is the knowledge that your original dream may be just a shadow of its true potential. Tiffany never dreamed of being the greatest jewelry company in North America. He simply moved toward every opportunity, keeping his mind and his heart open to every possibility. He chose to never limit himself. So I have to ask you, what is your dream? Follow it. Take the steps to bring it to reality. But don't let your own ability to dream limit you. Give the dream room to grow. Give it every opportunity to become more. Take advantage of your lessons learned and continue to forge ahead. You never know what it can become. The hope that you start with will expand and grow bigger and stronger every day. Remember my definition of hope? Hope is the bird that sings to the dawn while it is still dark. You can choose to sing before the light starts flooding into your life, believing that it will come. I'm here on the journey with you. Remember, the choices you make today will determine the rest of your life. My hope for you today is that you will choose hope.